On for a long time.
Some people act like we're not even there.
The best friends I've ever had in my life were people I met on the street, and they helped me more than anybody's ever had and I've ever.
Spring change.
Make sure you guys aren't clogging the sidewalk, okay?
Okay.
People gotta walk all around you and everything, okay?
I'm so sick and tired of stereotypes and people judging each other, you know? Because underneath it, you know, we're people. We're not judgments, you know?
This is our bed. This is where we sleep at night.
You've been up all night skating? Yep. I've been up all night skating.
What time she woke up yesterday?
5 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday.
I usually go couch surfing, but I try not to wear out my welcome so I don't do it too often, only when it gets cold.
It's about people like, they're trying to get away from bad situations, bad family situations, getting kicked out of their house, running away from like rape and abuse of their homes. And the only way they know how to get away is get on the street.
I've been like stuck out in the middle of nowhere, slept in recycling bins. I've done the whole bit, dude, and I don't know, I'm just like used to it. Raven, could you please fuck off?
What is your problem?
This is Smurfy.
Because
Smurfy.
I'm trying to do something serious here that's actually going to help street kids.
Well, I didn't know that. Don't be so moody with it.
It's not Channel 5.
Do your parents know where you are?
They don't care.
Are you sure about that?
Yep.
What makes you think they don't care?
Because my mom kicked me out. I have a lot of brothers and sisters, very poor family. I really never got anything. And my mom really didn't care what I did.
How old were you when you took off?
We'll start right now.
13, almost 14.
Where'd you go first?
First, I just stayed with friends, and then the people get sick of it after a while. And it's hard because you have to worry about what you're going to eat every day, how you're going to eat, how you're going to get money to eat, and how you're going to get money for cigarettes in some people's case.
My mom is in a financial tie-up because I'm what's known as a brat, which is kind of like a bastard, except it's a girl without a father. And my little brother is basically a bastard because he doesn't have a father either, because neither one of our fathers wanted to take responsibility. And I've been out here before, you know, I've hung out on the streets for years, so it's really not that big of a deal for me.
Do you stay in touch with your mom?
Yeah, I check in. People wonder why, you know, I don't try to act that feminine, and why, I dress the way I do, and, they usually either think that, I'm a guy or that I'm a bulldog. It's because that way I don't look like this cute little piece of ass, you know? People wonder why, oh, why don't you just try to act more pretty and feminine? Because I don't want to be pretty and feminine with my throat cut, bleeding to death, raped in an alley, that's why. It's really hard for people to just look at somebody and just accept them, you know, whether they have a suit and tie on or a torn up flannel and holy jeans, you know. All the planets are aligning with the Earth. All the planets are lining up. They're going to be smashed by bowling balls, like bowling balls, dude. Like bowling balls and pins. The sun's the bowling ball, all the planets are the pins. In the end, we're all the same thing. We're all human beings, and we're all individuals, you know. And not a lot of people see that, you know, because all they care about is how much money you have and how much you're worth to them and what they can get out of you instead of what you can learn from each other. Yesterday, somebody tried to tell me to get a job. I pulled out 12 applications. Believe me, that made them swallow their tongue. I showed them all those applications. I'm like, every single one of these is filled out. But I'm 15 and a half years old, and it's really hard to get a job when you have a blue mohawk and you're a minor, you know, and they don't understand that.
I remember my mom leaving too. My dad tried to tell me that she was just going on a vacation and that she'd come visit sometimes, but I knew he was lying. I just remember her stuffing all these bags in like the back of a Volkswagen Bug. I lived with my mom's parents for the longest because my dad's parents, I lived with them for a while, but then one weekend they said, okay, well, you're gonna go spend the weekend with your other grandparents this weekend, you know, and that was pretty normal for me. I was like, all right, and they kind of neglected to ever come pick me up again, so that's kind of where I lived for the next however long I lived there.
God, that must have felt kind of shitty.
I was kind of used to it, and, you know, it would have felt shitty if it never happened, but...
When I was younger, I mean, I was embarrassed to go to school wearing like a torn up plaid flannel or something because kids used to make fun of me. They used to be like, oh, you're poor, your mom's on welfare, nanny, nanny, boo boo, and then it's like 10 years later, it's like, look at my flannel, Buffy, you know, and I wish that was like that back then because I was made fun of hardcore for being a poor kid. I felt like a turtle when I was a little kid because I got fucked with so much, and I wrote a poem about it. It's like a turtle, like, they're a soft animal on the inside, but due to their conditions, they're forced to grow a hard shell. And every now and then, for a certain person, they'll come out of their hard shell. And so basically, when I was younger, I felt kind of like that animal.
How old were you when you first went into foster care?
I think it was around 9 when I started being in foster care, like, steadily. Hey man, you spare any change?
Get a fucking job!
Fuck off, dickhead!
Get on your knees and give me one!
I've gone through a lot of foster homes in the last 8 years. 8, 9 years, something like that.
Typical frat boy you're panhandling from.
Yeah, get a fucking job, dude.
Now you're back with your mom.
No, I'm still in the foster system. That's why I'm now here.
How long have you been out here?
Since last year, November.
Yeah. What happened with your family?
Ran away from foster care.
No.
It's the best place I've been. I've tried practically everything. I've tried my parents, I've tried foster care, I've tried friends, I've tried the streets, and the streets so far has been the best. I took care of myself. My mom was a major drug addict, and she was very abusive and stuff too. And so I took care of myself all the time.
How old were you when you first went into foster care?
I was turning 13 in like a month, so I was 12 turning 13. I was in there for about a year and a half before I decided to run away because I just couldn't take it anymore. Every foster home I've been in has either mentally or physically abused me. I've always felt not wanted there. They treat you like you don't belong, and it doesn't feel like a real family. I sleep at usually either shelters or sometimes I pull all-nighters all around the Ave. Sometimes I go anywhere I can.
Are you ever worried about your safety, especially as a girl?
Yeah. Sometimes I have. Some things bad have happened out here to me, sexually. I don't know really what I can say about that. It's just, when you're on the streets, you got to be careful.
How long has he been out here?
We just hopped the train from Spokane about 2 weeks ago. I came with him.
Oh, you did?
I'm from Minneapolis.
I'm Mary, I'm 17, and I'm from everywhere, kind of. The night I left, it was hot, and it was like, I didn't know exactly where I was going, and it was just, I left because of family fight, and just decided the family would be better without me.
Do you remember what the fight was over?
I'm getting pregnant.
What happened? Do you remember what your mom or your dad?
My mom and dad wanted me to have an abortion, and I said no.
Really? Or was it a boyfriend, or?
It was a family friend that...
And so when you said that you wouldn't have the abortion, then you took off?
Yeah, because they were pushing it, and they said as long as I was under their house, I'd follow their rules. So.
Did you have the baby?
Yep, I have a 2-year-old baby boy.
Where is he now?
He's in a foster home right now. Every mom wants her kid with her, but the best choice was for him. I was living in a foster home when I had the baby, But 2 months after I had the baby, I ran away.
Help you take care of her? You help her out? My friends all, they all love her to death. They help me.
Tinkerbell's like one of the best people out here. She's the first person I met when I came out here. She was the last person I saw before, I left for the first time. And she's in jail now. No one knows why. No one knows. She's in juvenile, actually. No one knows why she's in there.
My name is Tinkerbell, and I'll be 16 years old in 4 days.
How'd you get the name Tinkerbell?
I did a lot of angel dust, and I thought I could fly one time. Got on top of the Bartell building. I had bright yellow hair, and I used to wear all green, and they were like, Tinkerbell, she's up on the building. And it just stuck, so.
When did you first start doing that?
When I was like 11 or 12.
How'd you get introduced to it?
One of my friends turned me on to it.
This is my dog, Willie. He's coyote and shepherd mix.
It was fun, but it fucked me up, so I stopped doing it.
Where do I usually stay? I stay in a very illegal squat. How'd you find the place?
Well, you look and you see buildings that are boarded up, and then you go with hammers and stuff and unboard them at night and crawl in, see if it's good enough to sleep in. Let me open it, I got it crammed shut. My first night out, I was 10, but I got taken away from my parents when I was 9 for child abuse. And then I got tired of foster homes, real quick, and then I started running away. And now just foster care just won't take me, so I'm out here.
Who's what?
Whose candle is this?
How old are you, Tinkerbell?
I'm almost 16. I'll be 16 on St. Patrick's Day. Here, you come up this way.
And you've lived here for a couple of years?
Yeah, I've been out here since I was 10. You gotta kind of watch your step. I've been beaten up, molested by both my foster siblings, the parents. They have their dogs bite me, and I'd get in trouble for kicking them out the way.
They're gonna carry that?
Yeah. We all live up on the top floor.
All 25 of you?
Yep. Careful, there's a stair missing here. There was this one foster home up in Maple Valley when I was 10 or 11. They had us locked down in the basement. That was our bedroom, and their kids lived upstairs with bunk beds and shit. We had cockroaches all over the place. It was gross. It's all flooded. They haven't cleaned it out. They don't sleep in here yet, but
This is where they're gonna sleep?
this is about the dirtiest room.
Because it hasn't been cleaned out yet.
Here's Wolf and Angel's bed. And then that futon right here. That's in, people, they crash on different beds, if we have extra people crashing for the night. And this is Lion's room.
And Aaron's?
And Aaron's room. I don't go into foster care or anything. I just stay out here.
And there's a bed in the closet, too, where somebody sleeps.
Let me see.
Did you hear something?
My parents don't want me. I've asked my parents if I could come home, and they said, no, we don't want you. We don't want to have anything to do with you. And that's our garbage cell. That's where all our garbage goes down the stairway down there.
What do you think are the main reasons that kids leave home?
Well, I don't know how many people. I don't know how many people that live in this house actually left home. I didn't leave home. I got kicked out when I was really young.
What do you mean you got kicked out?
My parents dropped me off at the Chevron station up there. It's right off the Ave. I like it. It's home. We don't even call it squat anymore. We just say, I'm going home now.
Everything went downhill after the squad got busted. It was all going really good. Our lives were all just pulling together.
You know when shit's gonna happen. And they busted the squat, and 4 or 5 people ended up in jail. They boarded our hole up that we crawled through. Everything's up.
Fucking,
Everything is up there.
my
the opposite of pro is
every
con.
fucking thing that means
What's the opposite of progress?
up there, dude.
Are they gonna confiscate that stuff, or they'll just leave it
They
there?
might.
They'll just leave it there, dude.
You got a smoke?
Not that I can spare, dude. I only got one left.
Yeah.
What about you, Abra? Stop calling me Abra, dude. I'm in a pissed off mood right now.
It's stupid, dude. I mean, because that's all we have, and they just take it away. We've never heard of that place either.
Dude, well, like me personally, and like a lot of people up there use it for the benefit, not to like hurt it.
I do because I
don't trash
I can't go to most shelters, dude. They hate me. I've been going there for a long time, and they hate my guts.
You've been going there for a long time.
Right? Shut up! You live at home.
Now? After what, 3 years?
So where are we gonna sleep tonight?
7, bro.
I don't know. Well, I'm leaving tonight. I'm going to Spokane, dude.
Yeah.
And then, so what happened to Tinkerbell after that?
She went into like a mental kind of crisis, you know. When the squat fell apart, there was nothing else for us to do. Yeah, because that's all we worked on. That's what we used our time for, was that squat. I mean, if we weren't up at the youth center or at the street links, we were at the squat getting everything fixed up. She kept like jumping in front of cars and stuff. And I guess she tried to slit her wrist, and she was doing a lot of drugs and a lot of drinking, and you know, we all saw her going down. But you know, when someone's going that way, they've got to hit bottom or they're not going to come back up.
I don't really appreciate kids that come out here thinking that the homeless life is gonna be, you know, grand, because it's not. You gotta learn how to rough it. It's kind of like living in the woods with nothing around you but what you really need. You know, we got our clothes, we got our blanket, we got our food. You know, we got each other, but there's parts of it that's really hard, and like being cold, you know, not getting to wash your clothes, not getting to take showers. I mean, you find ways to do all these things. Sometimes we panhandle all day so we can buy a motel room at night so we can sleep until 11 and take as many showers while we're there as we want to. You know, if I go to a motel room, I'm taking about 6 or 7 showers. You know, I mean, because I love showers because I don't get them very often.
There you go, I'll put my cigarette out on my tongue for a quarter, and people will do it. They'll get all freaked out because you got so much saliva on the front of your tongue, you know, that you can do it. Hella easy. The cigarette goes out before it touches your tongue. It's like rubbing alcohol on your hands. Yeah. The only thing that sucks is like you get all this ash in your mouth and it bites.
I can't say it's not always fun, because there's some parts about being homeless that are just, it's hilarious, you know, to watch other people, you know, living their high life.
This is Young Yeller, okay? He's got a green belt in karate and he'll kick your butt. See? Bang! But, and he's my pet. I got him today. He was 35 cents. Pretty cheap. I got him when I was breaking food stamps so I can buy some of this hair dye to put in my head and make me look all spiff. But yeah, he's got a green belt in karate, and don't mess with him. And later on, you'll actually get to see me eat my pet. So, enough about the banana now. Back to the interview.
I got everything I need out here. You know, I got my family. It's kind of like I don't know. Most people don't call it a family, but that's all we have, so we call it a family.
We are a family. You know, once you're out here, you're always going to be a part of out here. Always.
I was always like a tomboy, and I always hung out with like older guys because I was comfortable around them. It's kind of like a replacement for my dad to have like kind of like a older male role model.
I'll show you. Have you seen them? They're like new. These big locks on the doors, and you can put a token or a quarter in. It's such a crop.
I always thought that Taco Bell looked like an institution anywhere. It does. It looks like some kind of Fairfax cafeteria.
It does.
Hi. Hi.
feel like as an American, and a poor person, I don't have any access to most of the services that were supposed to be provided me. Well, I think it would have been easier for my family if I'd had a larger place so everybody had their own private space and their personal space. I think a lot of the family friction we experienced and problems was due to a lack of adequate housing for all of us.
Do you worry about her safety?
I used to worry about her safety all the time, but she's proved to me over time that she can take care of herself just by staying in one piece, you know, and I do see her weekly or bi-weekly or whatever, and sure enough, she's still in one piece, so.
Do you think that not having the father around or not having your father around contributed to any of the stresses or?
Not really. So I don't really feel the need for any parents anymore.
Yeah.
Well, it contributed to some of the stress for me because I didn't have another parent there to help make decisions and to reinforce what I was saying or the limits that I wanted to set.
Yeah.
So then it became an oppositional type of thing real easily, me versus you.
Do you remember, what are some of the biggest altercations that you first had?
When you used to throw out youth at risk stuff at me and like all this stuff, I didn't want to tell you about anything because you just tried to throw me in an institution.
What I saw was I didn't see that your interest was lined up in any direction whatsoever. I just saw you going in circles and going in circles.
Well, I'm certainly not interested in being thrown in a padded room in a straitjacket, spoon-fed Ritalin and Prozac-filled mush and being brainwashed until I'm 18 years old.
Oh, that's what they do?
Yes.
No, I did the youth at risk thing when I was really concerned about you because you weren't in school, you weren't working, I didn't know who you were hanging out with, you were on the streets. I did it because I was concerned for your safety, basically. And I felt that you didn't have your own best interest in heart because I felt like you were throwing your safety away. That's basically why I did it.
Why'd you run away from home?
My dad told me that one of these days he was going to beat my ass, and I was like, well, dude, if you ever beat my ass, I'm going to kill you. And he said, well, I'd like to see that. And I said, okay. So one night we were having an argument, and he told me he was going to hit me, and I said, dude, if you hit me, I'm going to stab you. And I was sitting right next to the table. It was right around dinner time, so we had all the silverware and stuff set out. And we were happening to have steak that night, and so there were steak knives sitting on the table. And he decided to swing at me backhanded like this. And so I was sitting like this way facing him, and when he decided to swing like this, I just picked up the knife, like say this is a knife. I just picked it up like that and went like that through his hand. And so my mom kicked my dad out for about 2 or 3 weeks. And then after 3 weeks, he said he was going to move back in because his name was still on the lease. And he said, well, if you don't like it, get the hell out. So I said, okay, see ya.
How old were you when that happened?
I believe I was about 12 and a half.
Do you have anything in your system?
Nope. Just blood.
So you'll let him kiss your mouth?
Yeah.
Right.
No, do not eat him. No.
I wasn't going to eat him. I was just going to stick him in my mouth. After he tried to hit me, I told him that that was just a warning. If he ever tried hitting me again, I would kill him. And if he ever so far as went to giving my little sister, because my little sister's only 5 and I love her to death, and I told him that if he ever went as far as even giving her a spanking, hard enough to give her a bruise, that I'd kill him. Because I mean, I think that one of the worst situations in the world is children getting beat. And I mean, I think that parents should go to prison for that.
Marat will give you a kiss if you do that.
He'd always call us stupid and dumbasses and all this shit, and I got really fed up with it really quick. I started being a smart ass at a very young age. That's why I'm such a smart ass now.
What about school? How far in school did you get?
I made it to the beginning of my 8th grade, and well, I finished off my 7th grade year when I first started living on the streets. When
You were going to school and being homeless at the same time?
Yeah, when I was taking showers and stuff every day, and they were giving me shit about being homeless. You know, I smelled like I was homeless.
Where were you sleeping?
At a shelter in Spokane. It's called Crosswalk. So it's ran by the Volunteers from America. And I was staying there. I was taking showers every morning before I got up and go to school. You know, all that shit. And so I just got sick of that, and I've been bouncing in and out of schools over the last 2 years. Hello, hello. I went from just smoking weed and drinking a few beers every now and then to smoking like an 1/8 a day of weed, doing up to like a teener every day and a half of crystal meth. I've done every kind of methamphetamine there is to do. I will never use a needle, I will never use heroin, and I will never smoke crack.
So now, are you just...
The only thing I really do now is just drink beer.
It's been pretty hard to manage on your own?
Not really. It's like, I don't know, it's really weird because over the last 2 years, I've learned a lot of stuff. You know, like when I was first on the streets, the first half year I was on the streets, I just fucked around, you know. I was like, oh, I'm young, everybody will protect me. And that's like, it's not the way it works, you know. If you're gonna be on the streets, you gotta put up with what you're gonna put up with.
Girls have to do what they have to do to make it out here. And sometimes just making it out here, I guess women kind of got the benefit and the downfall because we've got something that men want. You know, and we know that if a situation occurs and I need something really bad, there's always that alternative. We got all these things that, you know, say that safe sex is happening, but it's not. It's not about being safe out here. Especially when you're on the streets, you don't figure you got much to live for anyways. And everyone's so close with everyone, you just don't figure one of your friends is gonna have something. But a lot of the kids out here have something. I know 3 people out here on the Ave that have AIDS, you know, or they have HIV.
Does it scare you?
It's really scary because you look at them and they're just like me. They're just like me. This is Tinkerbell, the girl that we've been talking about, and this is her picture because she got arrested and we haven't been able to find her. And she just got out of jail 2 weeks ago. And now she's living back with her parents, I guess. And they're having kind of a hard time. And she kind of wants to leave her parents' house now, but she wants to stay because her mom's dying.
I want to be a doctor.
Why's that?
Well, I don't know, because my mom she's really sick with like a lot of things, and I've always tried to understand what they were, and you know, I mean, I hate seeing people suffer like that, and someday I'm gonna find the cure to all the shit that people got.
She really wants better for herself. She wants to have a life and to have a family and to have good things in her life. She doesn't want to have to be on the streets, but sometimes that's your only option.
It sounds like you still have a lot of love for your family.
I do. I love my parents, you know, with all my heart. I could never hate them. I just hate the things that they did, you know. I hate the way that they treated me. I don't hate them. I mean, they're my parents. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them.
Turn the ties that bind. Let's call it yours, let's call it mine. It takes a lot, maybe more than a shot from Los Angeles to New York. Gunshots ring out the politics of young love on schoolyards. Still the same.
I like everything about me, except for the fact that I'm homeless. And sometimes I like it. It's fun. I get all the freedom in the world.
Of that gelatin flow, I don't have too far to go down. Turn the ties.
You know, you try to leave and you get out of here, and man, within the first couple hours you're going, you know, I wish I was back out there.
And Johnny's got to pick me up, that won't let you go.
Young Yeller here, he's pretty stoned, see?
Young Yellow?
I'm gonna rip his head off. Ah! No! Don't hurt me! Ah! My skin! Ah! Ah!